we get started with this podcast, I wanted to remind everyone of the free gifts that we still have available to offer for everyone, which is free downloadable targets that you can download, print out, and actually utilize at the range. So you don't have to worry about those costs or those fees just when it comes to any kind of targets when you go to the range. Also, if you're a new shooter looking at getting into firearms and looking for a spot to actually start or where to begin, go ahead, take advantage of our free basic marksmanship pistol class. That's available as well for you to go ahead, download, and take some classes and just get you squared away. Those are our gifts from us to you. Take advantage of it, and I hope to see you soon. Let's go ahead and get it started. Welcome, everyone. This is Chris again with Digital Defenders Podcast, which is brought to you by Virtual Firearms Association. Today, who we have in store, we have Kenny Brandon with Fat Fam Productions, as you can see right there on his hat. Fat Fam Productions, that is another firearms instructor in the DMV area, but I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to go ahead and let him shine. Go ahead, tell us about yourself.
What's up, Chris?
What is going on, sir?
Thank you for inviting me onto the podcast. I'm Kenny Brandon. I'm a firearms instructor. I'm NRA certified. I got my instruction through NRA. Kendall Smith, she's a great instructor counsel. She comes out of Texas and she handles all of our club training. And I'll get into that later on into the video about that. I've been an instructor for, I kind of lost track. I think at least 2 to 3 years now.
Okay.
I've held numerous of classes. I've helped numerous of people get their firearm wear and carry and HQL. Just training. I love to train. I guess that's my calling. I didn't realize it. I have so much. I get so much enjoyment out of it. So I have fun with it as well. So that's a little bit about me on the instructor end of it.
Okay.
The Fat Fan Productions, I know it's kind of a weird name for firearms training services, but Fat Fan Production is my main company per se. I started this company. I'm a DJ. That's actually my first go-to is business. So that's hence the production. I do wedding productions, corporate productions. We provide lights, music, entertainment, you name it. When it comes down to weddings and corporate events and just a backyard barbecue, we do it all. So that's the parent company. So everything I do under that is just addition to that. So that's the production portion of it. That's how I get that.
So I got a question. So what was the inspiration of the name Fat Fam Productions? I mean, I love how it flows together, but something had to motivate you to actually choose that name though, out of everything else.
That's funny you asked that. So this is the story. This is it right here. My first job, I worked at McDonald's, Golden Ring, the Walmart when it first opened. This is when they got rid of the mall in Golden Ring. They knocked it down. They built the Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a McDonald's inside the Walmart. This is my first job. I apply for the job. I get the job. I'm working at the job. I had a manager named Nancy. So we was doing inventory one time, and it was we had a really good working relationship, all that stuff. One day she's doing inventory, and we came up like 10 nuggets short or something like that. It was like that. So she said, "Did you eat the nuggets?" I said, "Why? Because I'm a black fat man." And from there, yeah, exactly. From there, it grew my name. That's my DJ name, the Black Fat Man, DABLKFATMAN. And from there, hence Fat Fam. So everything I do is under the Black Fat Man and all that stuff. So that's what the Fat Fam came out of.
So I got a question, like the hat that you're wearing right now, like, so it says the Fat Fam LLC. Is that something that people can like go online and purchase if they want to get a Fat Fam hat, or
so
that's special just funny. For you?
No, it's funny because this design was inspired by a random person one day. I was wearing it so I have delivery trucks as well. We own we own 3 26-foot box trucks, and I have a Sprinter. So I have a delivery service that came after. So there's a lot of stuff under my umbrella. So one day I'm making a delivery. A guy like, "Fat Fam, what's that?" I said, "That's my company." He said, okay, I see it on your shirt. What is it? I said, man, if I had to explain to you, I'd be all day. I said, I got an umbrella. It's an umbrella company for all my stuff that I do, for lack of better words. He said, well, the hat, are you selling it? I say, I guess so. I can have one made for you. How much is it? $40. Can you give me one of camo? I say, you know what? That actually might be tight.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give you one of camo because I'm gonna order one. And from there, I've had a couple people buy a couple of them. I don't even really advertise to sell. But if you want one, I'll order one up for you. It's only $40.
Hey, I think I do want one. I like how that hat looks, man. That's what it just really piqued my interest as far as seeing it. Okay. Snapback.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And I wear this thing every day, so you see the condition of it. So it's it's really good quality. It really is.
All right, sweet. Got the Maryland plate on there.
Yeah, too. Yeah, I know. That's the part.
I see it. So, question for you.
What you got?
All right. You got a ton of things under your umbrella.
Yeah.
But I tell you this, you got the box trucks,
mm-hmm.
You got the DJing, the music.
Yep.
And you got the firearms.
Yep.
If you had to choose one and the other two had to go away, what would it be?
That's hard. So if I had to break it down to the top two, it would definitely be between the firearms and DJing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, DJing is my passion. That's my first love. That's my first baby. I could never turn my back on my first baby. So it would definitely have to be DJing. But firearms, I get so much enjoyment out of it. Like really, really. And everybody in the house shoot, down to my 7-year-old son. So yes.
Absolutely. So everybody has that first time when they shot a firearm. Like I remember mine, and I always wanted to do it, but I was kind of scared to do it at the same exact time. And it was for a job. Like I believe I was getting into security, and I remember I was so nervous. Like my palm of my hand was so sweaty. I swear I could have like squeezed my hand in. And it would drip probably out the bottom of my hand because my hand, I was that nervous. But you know what the crazy thing is that me being nervous and everything, I guess it made me maybe extra focused and extra safe just when it came to using a firearm. And at the same exact time, once I shot that first shot and I felt the recoil and I felt how it pretty much felt just when it comes to just shooting a gun. It was over. Hand dried up. I was like, I'm good now. You know what I mean? And then I was just like, all right, well, I guess I can shoot now. And I've been in love with firearms ever since. Do you have a story that's anything? I don't know, maybe not the sweaty palm situation, but do you recall just the first time that you shot a firearm?
So my mother's husband at the time, military guy. My first time shooting an official gun. I've always been into the guns. Like I guess I was a big gun fanatic and never realized I was. I used to have airsoft pistols as a like 14 and up kind of thing. So I was good with that. I would go out, shoot at whatever I could, mice, squirrels, and all that stuff. You know, it was a little soft pellet, so it wasn't going to hurt them. So the first time I actually shot a handgun, this dude, Mr. Durrell, he had a judge. Okay. Now, mind you, I was already I was athletic built.
Yeah.
I was playing football. I was in high school, so I had some strength behind me. I had no idea what I was getting into. He said, "You want to shoot this?" I said, "Yeah, I want to shoot that." He said, "No, you want to shoot this?" I said, "Yeah, I want to shoot this." So, you know, if you ever shot a judge or ever seen a judge, it's
a hand cannon.
Yes. So I shot it, and everybody was like, just the hype behind it was like, oh man, I'm a little nervous getting into this. Maybe I done bit off too much that I can chew. And I don't want to make it seem like, you know, I ain't never shot before, knowing damn well I never shot before. So I said, I already talked myself into it, so let me go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
Shot it, and I handled it. Everybody looked at me like, dang.
Yeah.
And I kind of walked away, you know, proud.
Yeah.
kind of felt like, yeah, I'm definitely getting a real gun from here. So
Exactly. Okay. Okay.
yep. So
You're
that
probably the
that's what
first person I heard that shot something that big, especially that's the first time you shot a
yeah,
firearm.
first time. First
You know, it's
time.
like saying you shooting a 50 cal or Desert Eagle or something like that as the first time you ever handled a firearm. So, hey,
Yeah,
man,
I tell you what,
kudos.
now it was some recap. It was some recap recoil with that thing too. Boy, I tell
Oh,
you,
I believe it.
I
I
can still
believe it.
feel it in my wrist now.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, would you say that that was when you started falling in love with guns? Like, how long ago was that before
So
you
that
actually got your instructorship?
so that was many moons ago. Like I
Yeah.
said, that was back when I was in high school. So that was like 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe 2003. So I got my first handgun out of high school. It was like 2009. So this is when I was starting to build my family and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy thing about it is I got the gun. Back then you only had to do like a little 5 minute safety briefing or something like that.
I remember.
Exactly, and bam,
Mm-hmm.
you get a gun. I tell this story all the time, especially when I'm doing my instruction. I have a video that I show my students about the first time people shoot their handguns, and there's one segment where this guy he has a handgun already, and it was his first time not even shooting his own handgun, but it was a class they were holding on first time shooters to help them out, and they were like, "So you think you want to get a gun? Oh, I have one already." They all looked at him like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Oh wow." But I said we can't be hypocritical because a lot of people get the idea of just getting a handgun for safety and that's it. You don't think about going to the range to shoot it afterwards and make sure that your tool works and all that. I was
Exactly.
that guy. I got my gun. I knew I had a gun for the house. If something happened, I had the gun. Knowing now what I know versus then, that was so unsafe. It
Mm-hmm.
really was. But fast forward, I got a neighbor, and this was I want to say 2018, just
Mm-hmm.
before COVID became a thing. My neighbor, guy named Rob, he said, "Hey, you got any guns?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What you got?" I said, "I got Glock 19." He said, "Okay, that's cute. You ever shot any rifles?" I said, "Nah." And at this point, the media hypes everything up about rifles being so bad and all that stuff. He
Exactly.
said, I said, "What kind of rifle you got?" He said, "I got all kinds of rifles. I got AR-15s." I said, "AR-15s ain't they the one to kill a lot of people?" He's
Mm-hmm.
like, "See, you're one of them, aren't you?" I said, "What you mean?" Yeah, exactly. You're one of them, aren't you? I said, "Well, look, I have no interest. I'm a kid from the hood, from East Baltimore. Biggest thing I probably seen was a Mac 9 back
Mm-hmm.
then." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "So I'm not into no rifles." He said, "All right, cool. What happens if something goes down?" I said, "Okay. What you getting at?" He said, "What happens if something go down?" I said, "I got my Glock." All right, so you can shoot that Glock at 200 yards? I said, "That's 2 football fields away." "No, not really." He said, "Okay, well, I can shoot at you for 400 yards away."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Now I'm interested. What you got?"
Exactly.
So he got to explain, breaking down to me about the ARs and the different rifles and different calibers and stuff like that. I said, "Okay." Then it comes down to one of my buddies, his first time buying a rifle. So we looking at each other. We go to the range. He like, "You ever shot one?" I said, "No, but I ain't gonna back down." So
Mm-hmm.
we both
Exactly.
didn't know what to expect. Shot his AR for the first time. It was a LWRC, I think, or LR.
LWRC. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
company based in Maryland. Yep.
yeah. So this supposed to been like a really good top of the line rifle. We spent like $2,800 for it. I said, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
that right there is a turn off." So,
Yeah.
but
They
then he
are.
shot it, and then instantly fell in love. So this is about fast forward to 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, my wife got me one for my birthday slash Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And, from there, I went from owning 2 guns, that Glock 19, and then that rifle I got,
Mm-hmm.
and now I got, Lord of mercy, 20 plus, 30 plus guns.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they are
Even down,
addictive. An
yeah, even
expensive
down,
hobby, but addictive.
exactly. Even down to I done built about several rifles now. So once it kicked in, it kicked in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So got a question based off of what you just said because you said you
Yeah.
shared your birthday and Father's Day. All
Yeah.
right. So I take it you probably got a June birthday.
So it's May,
Oh, it's a
May
May
25th.
birthday? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
So
okay.
it's close. It's close enough. Close enough.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, cool, 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 cool. All right. So, what's your favorite gun? Out of the ones that you have, I know you have one that's your baby. That you're like, you know what? This is my baby right here. I'll tell you mine. Matter of fact, I'll tell you mine first.
All right.
That you think about out of your 40, 50 guns that you have. So, mine at first, and I don't know what it is. I guess you hear, I don't know, you just see police officers and everybody. It's always Glock, 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 Glock. And Glock
Uh-huh.
is not the only gun. I always tell people that Glock is a very okay firearm. Okay. And
Hmm.
what I mean by a very okay firearm is that the gun doesn't require a lot of maintenance. And
Right.
I know
Right.
most people in general, well, you know what? Let's not just say most people, but you can kind of assume that most people
Hmm.
don't clean their firearms and don't take care of their firearms. So, so at the same exact time, like that gun is very low maintenance. So,
Right.
I mean, I've seen the videos like on YouTube and so forth where the gun was buried like in the mud and all this other stuff. The dude dug it up like a day later or like a week later or
Uh-huh.
something, wiped it
Uh-huh.
off, and it just fired perfectly
Like
fine.
like underwater, all that stuff. Right.
Yes. And I'm talking about, I know people who've had Glocks who've never even cleaned them, ever. Never, ever. You know what? I'm gonna act like I didn't see that. So I was like, but at the same exact
Hey,
time, they'll still
I'm still talking
function.
about that Glock 19, my first one.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that they still will shoot perfectly fine and they're well, you know. But if you take something like a SIG or something with double action that has actually more than one moving part that's going on in the gun, it's like it's a lot of the parts. I don't know, they'll get rusted, they'll stop, I don't know, it'll stop cycling right. It's all kinds of things, just what I witnessed with firearms. So
Right.
um it took me a while to explore my horizon and to get out of just the Glock mind frame, you know. But when I found my baby, all right, and baby is a more recent gun that I have, and it's a 1911.
Do
I
tell.
like
Do
that.
tell.
I like that Springfield DS Prodigy. Oh, I
Do you?
love that gun, man. I'm talking
Do
about
you?
15 yards, especially if I'm using the red dot optic. I'm talking about I got a grouping like that, a grouping like that with that gun. No recoil at all in that gun. I mean,
I,
that
I
thing
tell you what, I
is
got
my.
somebody you. I got somebody you gonna really kick it with then.
I'll tell you, I love it. I love that Springfield. But back to what I'm saying about baby and a gun, you have to baby that gun, keep it lubricated, keep it
Yeah,
cleaned and everything,
yeah,
so it'll
yeah.
cycle. And I swear, it was like probably maybe I went to the range maybe twice, and I didn't do it. The gun stopped cycling rounds, and I'm just like, are you kidding
It
me?
told you. It
Like,
told you about yourself.
yeah. You know, like literally, like with that gun, it was just like I normally clean my guns, but I just didn't have time. And I just shot it like twice. And that third time, I was just like, well, let me go ahead and clean it. And now it's working again. So now I'm back to like babying that gun.
Right.
If I know I don't have the time and energy to clean that gun or baby it, I'm just
Right.
not gonna shoot it.
Right.
It's just gonna be on ice, and I'll use some of my other guns as well. So your turn.
All right.
What's your baby?
So I'm gonna tell you what. For the longest time, my baby was a Glock 45.
Oh,
The 9 millimeter. Is the So I had a
yep,
19X. My second firearm outside of the rifle was a 19X.
yeah,
I didn't know anything about this thing on gun. I didn't know I liked the color, and they just said it was one of the things popping. I had a 19. Let me
exactly,
get a 19X. This peanut butter color. I
exactly.
got it and I shot it. And I really couldn't articulate why I liked it, but I liked it.
Hmm.
I couldn't figure it out. For one, I didn't realize the 19, I knew it was a different model than the 19, but
Exactly.
once I got into it, I understood what the difference was. So The 19X went to the 45, which is the black version of the 19X, for lack of better words, and it was MOS, so I can put a red
Yes.
dot on it. I got a blazing deal on my G45. I'm talking about it was $600, wood for light, and a Holliston on red dot. I couldn't pass that up. Exactly.
Yeah.
The light in the Holliston red dot alone were like $600.
Exactly.
So I got it. Then Glock came out with the performance trigger, and then there you go. I absolutely fell in love with it the way it was. I mean, I'm shooting, like you said, I can shoot the same hole, and I got the videos all on Facebook to show. And this is at least a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Then came the Turn Tactical TTI. I actually, yeah. So
you got to turn tactical. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the TTI Canic Combat.
Mm-hmm.
That compensated thing, I fell in love with it all over again. Now, granted, I went from the 19X to the 45, and then I got a Canic Rival. So the Rival, I love the Rival too. So I'm a Striker Fire guy. Like, and I guess because it's just that's just the platform I learned on. That's the platform that I got really comfortable with. The Canics, they come with awesome triggers out the box. I don't have to do anything to them, and I guess it just complements my style of shooting. So that's I sit natural just with a Striker Fire pistol. Again, it's less maintenance. You know, I can just pick it up and shoot. You pull the trigger, bang, that'll happen. I got to take I don't have to take a safety off or anything like that. You get your good fundamentals and line up, and boom. So it went from the Canic Rival, then I got the Canic Rival S, which is the all steel frame, and then the TTI Combat came out. So it kind of went from the Glock to the Canic to the TTI Combat. Now I'm back at the Glock.
Gotcha. I never shot a Canic. I've never shot a Canic before.
Oh, brother.
I keep telling myself I gotta just shoot one, but I've never shot a Canic before.
Yeah, and to so that way I don't seem biased per se.
Yeah.
My brother talked me, and so my brother is a huge 1911 fan now. Huge. So he has a Prodigy. He actually he had his Prodigy tricked out. He changed all the parts on the internal ECG or ECW parts. Well, I get you probably be familiar with it. And he had his barrel ported. So when I say this thing shoot flat, it shoots flat. He loves it. Absolutely love it. I even like it. He said, man, if you get a 1911 double stack, I promise you that's probably gonna be your favorite gun. Exactly. I went out and I got the Mac 9 DS. So that's that is a Turkish company, but T-Sauce makes it, which is designed it. It's an American company, but they collabed on it. It actually is a really nice gun.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, the Mac 9 DS. Okay. I'll go grab it here in a second. It's a double stack 1911. They call it the Turcado. They based it
Turcado.
Yes, they based it off the staccato.
Yeah.
Out the box, it runs good. It absolutely ran good. No problems like what you were having with your Prodigy. Out the box, this thing ran. So a lot of people, when I first had it, they were like, "That's a staccato." Like, no, it's not a staccato. And once I go grab it and show you, you'll understand why they thought that. So he just swore me up and down I was going to love this 1911 platform. You know what? I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's like it's nice. Actually, it compliments me well when I shoot it as well. But the safety stuff, I guess, call me, stuck in my ways, what you might call it.
Yeah. I
don't feel like I want to manipulate the safeties and all that stuff. I want to pick up and shoot. So the gun, the 1911 platform is a little bit too much of a diva for me. I guess.
Yeah, they are kind of pretty guns to be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that staccato, that is probably one of the favorite guns that I don't own, is a staccato. I forgot, was it the excuse me. I think it was the XC? I forgot what it was off the top of my head, but I know it has a compensator at the end of the barrel. That gun also, it's like a $6,000 gun.
I've actually got this. I think you're talking about the Turn Tactical one, the Pit Viper. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually got a chance. I got a video on YouTube. I got a chance to shoot the Pit Viper next to my Canic rival,
Mm-hmm.
next to the Alien, the Largo Arms.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That,
I've seen the alien.
that,
Yep.
that Alien is a nice gun. That's
Mm-hmm.
$7,000 gun as well.
Yep.
So I can't. I don't care how much money I have in the bank. I just can't see me spending $7,000 on a handgun.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I can go buy me a new something for one of my trucks or
The
something. I
thing
don't know.
about it, you can get some very good guns. You probably get seven
Yeah,
very good guns for
exactly.
$1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that gun's
exactly.
already tricked out. Probably got the MOS optic already cut out, or you might, you could do a lot
Exactly.
with that.
Exactly. I don't care how much money I got in the bank, and I can afford it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just, I just, I can't see it. Like I just got the 86 Blackout by Q,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that gun was like $2,800. But I wanted the gun. I'm like, whatever. I want it. There's a rifle. It's something different. It's not a
Yeah,
handgun.
yeah.
I want it, and I got it. But that I had to kind of up and down with that. I'm like, $2,800. What
Yeah,
else can I do with $2,800?
yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
forget it. Let me go get the damn gun.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Guns is a very, very expensive
Yeah,
hobby.
they are.
So,
They
but that
are.
brings up another question that I actually have.
Mhm.
As a firearms instructor,
Yes.
you get a new Billy that's out there in the streets. He's coming in. He was like, Kenny, look, I ain't never shot in a gun before. I want to get into guns. What do you think, in your opinion, is a good beginner gun? Just for like a new shooter that's out there, for them to be able to handle and manipulate.
Honestly, there's no right answer for that because everybody, like, just because I'm not a 1911 guy
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that that next person might not be a 1911 guy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might want a gun with a safety because they feel more secure with it. Some people might just like be like me. Nah, give me that joint where I can just pick up and go. So it really depends. You got to qualify the person. There's no right answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
So
So if you had to pick one though, Kenny,
if I had to pick one,
this guy's he already went through your class, went through his training, and he's like, I have no idea what gun to get. I just need a beginner gun. I don't need to have all the bells and
bells
whistles.
and whistles, a Glock 43X. That's my everyday carry.
Glock 43X. It's a
Mm-hmm.
good gun. Compact, slim, single
Mm-hmm.
stack too, right? It's single stack, right?
Yep. Yep.
Easily concealable. So yeah.
Yep.
Um, that's one of the guns that, well, not maybe not necessarily just the 43X, but I kind of steer people to Glocks as well, I guess, for the
Mm-hmm.
whole maintenance thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not a cheap gun, but it's also not one of the most expensive ones,
Expensive
like
one.
like
It's like
Sig
right in
or
the middle of
something
the
like
road.
that.
Yep. Right in the middle of the
So
road.
so that way, if it's something that you fall in love with, of course you may want to upgrade, get something newer or whatever the situation is. But or if you're just using it just for self defense or whatever, it'll get the job done. So
Right. Right.
I'm in an agreement with you about Glock being a good starter
Beginner
weapon, if
gun.
that's what you want to call it,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
for new shooters.
Yep.
So you love guns, you love your DJing as well,
Absolutely.
love your music, but what made you decide to actually start teaching, like to actually do instruction versus you just exploring and partaking in an activity that you love to do, which is shooting firearms? What made you decide that, hey, you know what, I want to teach this? Like I like this that much.
So I have two inspirations for that.
Okay.
My big brother Dirk, he was my mentor. He was actually the person who, for lack of better words, trained me, and we kind of started collabing on actually hosting classes together.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Man, look, you could do this." I said, "I could, but I'm cool with you. I'll host the classes. You do the instruction, and we good to go." Then comes along a guy named James McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him used to work together way back when. We kind of reconnect later. He sees a post. Matter of fact, when I first started getting into the rifles, oh, Kenny, you shoot? I said, yeah. He said, I'm the founder of Urban Sharpshooters. I said, what the hell is that? What are you talking about? It's a
Mm-hmm.
gun club. I said, oh. All right, well, tell me more. And then the relationship from there grows. And then I wound up starting up a chapter here in Baltimore County,
Okay.
Urban Sharpshooters. And we actually grew pretty decent. We actually grew pretty fast. A lot of like-minded people like to shoot. And then from that, I actually took over Baltimore. So
Okay.
I'm actually the chapter president of Baltimore area, Urban Sharpshooters.
Okay.
So from there, he was like, "Well, you come on, guy. You know, you need to go ahead and become an instructor." I'm like, "All right, whatever, forget it. I'll do it. I'll do it just to do it." And then from there, it actually turned into something I really enjoy doing. Um, so that's what pushed me into the whole instructor role. And then just my presence at the range, because I was at the range a lot, and
Mm.
people saw that. People naturally just came to me, "Hey, I see how you're shooting. We really like. Can you teach us?" And I had that happen quite a few times. So I guess it's just kind of like that was my calling.
Okay.
So
So I want to ask you a question about the gun club. Uh,
mhm.
what exactly does what exactly does that mean, and what details or like what exactly is a gun club, especially for just people who have no idea that there is even gun clubs out there. We know that there's car clubs and motorcycle clubs and things like that, but what exactly is it as far as a gun club? Is it something similar as those, or are
Yeah,
there?
for us, it's that's what it is. There's nothing major one out in. There's a bunch of like-minded men and women and young adults that like to shoot. We get together. We don't just go shooting. We go bowling. We hang out, whatever. But there's a bunch of like-minded people in the 2A community. We get together and we shoot for the most part. So, and it's just we just have fun. It's just good fun, good clean shooting and fun,
Like a family?
like a family. Yep,
Okay, that's
yep.
that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Okay, all right. So when it comes to the guns in general, like you said that you're a pretty good shooter. I hope you are a pretty good shooter, right? Okay.
Hey, hey,
Okay. All right.
let's
Just checking.
go
Just
find
checking.
out. Let's. I look. I let it go
Right.
to the range. Let's go. I'll prove it.
We know you're a pretty good shooter. And you go to the range all the time with what
Mhm.
you just said. How often do you practice? How often do you shoot?
Any chance I get,
Hmm. Would you say maybe once a
any
week,
chance that I get,
twice a week,
at minimum
twice a
twice
month?
a week.
You said a
Minimum
minimum?
twice a week. Yeah, minimum. And that's juggling all my other businesses. So if I had more
Exactly.
time, I'd probably be there every damn other day.
And it's a reason why I asked you that question is because it goes to show just how much effort it takes for you to just maintain that level
Yes.
of accuracy and precision just when it comes to your rounds being delivered downrange.
Hmm.
It's not something that you can shoot a couple times and you just put it away and then you're good. It is a diminishing skill.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something that you have to
Definitely.
stay at. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And I've also noticed some things that some other guns, depending on if you're shooting multiple handguns, they handle a little differently and they shoot a little
A
bit
lot.
differently
A lot.
than yeah, than some of the other guns. So that's important as well. Like you thinking that you're shooting like my Glock shoots different from my Prodigy versus a Beretta or my Sig. Like every gun, or especially if I change the model or the company, let's just say a different company, that gun, you
Hmm.
can tell, I can point at my target, say, my Glock shots went here, the Sig went here, and the Beretta went here, and its
Hmm.
recro's over here. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
you could almost tell because the gun handles, it's still a tight grouping or whatever, so forth, but
Right.
it's still a slightly, I guess, and the thing is that my mechanics are still the same, as far as just how I'm holding the gun and everything like that. But it still seems like I'm like, why is it going a little bit on? Why is it shoot just a little bit higher with this gun versus
Right,
the other
right,
one I'm trying to
right,
do?
right.
Believe me, I
And
mean the
have you looking
threat.
at like, what's going on?
Yeah,
It's me.
yeah. So believe me, the threat is still taken care of. He's
Exactly.
still done. You know what I mean? But I notice, and the thing about it is that as instructors and as perfectionists, just when it comes to working on your craft, we can see that the other
Yes.
person, like the other person could probably look at it like, wow, those are really great shots. And I'm like, something's
Mm,
off
right.
with this group, and I don't really like it. You know what I mean? Even though you're probably shooting like maybe a freaking
They looking at you like you crazy.
yeah,
Like, what are
like
you
a
talking about?
baseball or something size target. You didn't blew a hole through the paper, you know? So
Yeah.
it's wild, but um so the thing is that practice makes perfect, obviously. And
No, no, you can't say that.
okay,
Perfect
elaborate.
practice. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Oh yes,
Because the reason
yes,
I say that, I've had people to come to me and they say they know how to shoot. And I don't trust anybody unless I've shot with you physically and I've seen you shoot and we've been together. I don't trust you. And
exactly.
that's just a good rule of thumb for any instructor. Do not trust your student unless you have actually physically shot with your student and you feel comfortable enough with them handling the firearm. I've
Exactly.
had the best people talk the best game and shoot the absolute worst. And it's because if you don't learn the fundamentals from the beginning, you're practicing bad behaviors, and then those bad behaviors become muscle memory, and it's hard to fix them. So, yeah.
You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you feel just when it comes to any of those practice tools that they have out there? Like some people they dry fire, but then you hear people saying about the dry firing as far as dropping the slide, it damages the extractor and just crazy things like
So
that just when it comes to dry firing in general. What are your
dry
thoughts?
firing,
Yeah.
dry firing is absolute one of the best things to do when it comes down to practicing. The reason why is because you, for one, there's no ammo involved. If you're
Hmm.
really into the craft, you understand how much ammo costs. And
Exactly.
then even trying to find alternatives to not using ammo, it still costs. Even if you get the laser machines to where you shoot the targets, those things about $350. You know, that's a lot of ammo. You get what I'm saying? So which way do you sway? And then you get the mechanic things that go on your guns, and you still it analyzes what you got going on. It's only going to give you a false positive because you don't have a lot of ammo.
Mm.
However, if you just work on the fundamentals of just dry firing with your pistol that you have and having a target that you want to get onto, everything else you can work on at the range when it comes down to the actual follow through mechanics and all that stuff. But getting on target and getting that first shot out is
Hmm.
really what you want to do with your dry firing. And that's what that becomes really good. Just your trigger control, trigger management, and actually getting on target. That's what your dry firing really about. Isn't you don't really need to do all the transitioning and all that stuff. You do that at the range. You do that at an outdoor range. You do that at a whatever type of competition shoot they have. That's where you want to do that stuff. Your dry firing is really good and great for just gear on your fundamentals.
Absolutely. I think dry fire is one of the best things that you could possibly do just when it comes to not even just a new shooter, but just in shooting in general, because you
General,
can
yeah,
see right then and there some of your mistakes and flaws that you have just when it comes to trigger presses
yeah.
of your firearm. You can see if you're slapping that trigger in the or jerking the gun to the left, to the right, depending on if you're
Mm-hmm,
left or right-handed
mm-hmm,
and everything like that. Like you can see that,
mm-hmm.
and then you'll have muscle memory and you'll stop kind of doing it. But when you take those first couple shots, that's letting you know probably what you're doing every single time you're actually shooting the gun for real when you're going to the range and so forth, man. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm a
And it's
firm
free.
believer. Yep. I'm a firm believer in dry firing. I mean, get those reps out, get to the point where even pulling the gun out of the holster is
Yes.
important. Not just doing the whole dry fire, change it up a little bit. Because the
Right.
thing is that like me and you, we train people, we for CCWs and things like that. So we already know that there's people actually carrying their firearm
Mm-hmm.
concealed within their clothes. Like how many people are actually practicing you actually breaking your clothing and drawing your gun out of the holster that you have tucked away and actually delivering those rounds down range. So
Exactly.
that's that's one of the problems that I think that we have out there when it just comes to going to a range in general. They're not going to let you practice that.
Nope. Nope.
So I know that you made a comment just as far as just some of the laser systems and things like that. But one of the laser systems that I use and I find beneficial is the Mantis system. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if you ever
I have it.
got the
I have
Mantis
the Mac
system.
6. Yep.
So the sweet thing just with that is that you can practice some of those drills, and they have like little 5 second countdown and things like that where you can
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and fire into the target, and your recordings and everything like that pop up on your phone. And to me, it's pretty accurate because the laser is actually sitting inside the barrel. So
Mm-hmm.
so as far as a training tool with that, I think it's like a step up from just doing the traditional drop. You still have to
Yeah. Yeah.
manually, and you're still not getting the full bang from the recoil of the projectile leaving the firearm. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same exact time, you are getting probably as close to what you can do real life situation that you
Mm-hmm.
can do in
At
the
home.
comfort of your house. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? As far as practicing breaking your clothing, drawing your gun out, and actually delivering rounds towards the threat or target.
Right.
So I think that that's something that's not talked about enough. And I think that that's something that I guess us as instructors, we need to start promoting not only the fact that, yeah, you can shoot a target standing still. Yeah, you can go ahead and shoot a target while you're just sitting there holding your guns out, holding your gun just straight out. Yes, you're very
Right.
accurate with that. But the real life situation is that if you ever have to use that firearm like in public to defend yourself or defend any kind of persons or property, or most importantly, your family when you're outside,
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Your heart rate is going to be boom, 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 your chest and everything like that. You are going to be going nuts, but you have to resort to your training.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Yep.
have to resort to your training.
So to
And
you
and
saying that,
yeah,
what I teach my students, I'm not going to say it, but you gotta fill in the blank. We
okay,
call those old moments. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I
absolutely.
always
Oh
preach to
yeah,
my students about not having an old moment. What that means. What does that mean? Like, okay,
yep,
we go to the range, right?
yep,
We shoot with eye protection on. We shoot with ear protection on. You
absolutely,
know, have you ever heard your gun go off without that stuff?
exactly,
That absolutely could scare the ever living out of you. And
exactly.
that could be the difference between life or death. So I encourage people. I say you don't have to do it with me. Come to the range when you are comfortable. Take one of those headphones off and just hear the shot go off. So that
You're
way
right about that.
you
Right,
won't scare the everlasting out of yourself when it goes down if you ever have to use it. Because what you gonna say? Hold on, Mr. Robert. Let me go grab my head
exactly.
protection in my eyes, and you wait 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be at the door like, okay.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
So
right.
yeah, yep,
And a lot of people, it's not even just the holster. It's another thing you need to consider at the same exact time is what kind of holster are you actually using? Are you
yeah.
using it
We
inside the
preach that.
waistband holster?
Mm-hmm.
Are you using an outside of waistband holster? Are you using a belly band? Are you using a fanny pack holster where the gun sits basically inside your
Uh-huh.
chest?
Uh-huh.
All those drawers are going to be different.
Yep.
Are you wearing a baggy sweater? Are you wearing a hoodie? Are you wearing a big t-shirt? Are you wearing no shirt at all? I mean, I don't know.
All those factor in. All those factor in.
But you have to you have to be able to practice how or train or practice how you train. So
Mm-hmm.
these are some of the things that I want people to consider and definitely leave with just from our conversation today.
Yeah.
Um, and that's one of the things that I think that's important just when you're using any of the laser systems or like I said, like I use the Mantis one,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably as close as possible to like a real life, unless you get a virtual simulator machine or something inside else, which is like a $300,000 machine, which it'll be awesome if we all can afford that. But I'm not walking around here with three
It's
hundred
it's
thousand dollars
it's ways around that you can.
to pay
I
for a
have
machine.
I'm a technology kind of guy. I'm big into
Mm-hmm.
technology. My kids have a virtual reality machine, and I
Mm-hmm.
built this thing. So it runs the Steam VR.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game called Raw Data, and it allows you're in the world. You put these headphones on. You got these controllers. and they turned into pistols and all that stuff. And you can shoot the heck out some robots and all that stuff. Okay. And so they have other games that you can incorporate, but I'm such into the, like, I can let my hair down and do it, but you just know how it's not the real thing per se.
Exactly.
But there's ways around it, and there's alternatives out there, like what you're saying. So you don't have to buy that $300,000 machine.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get one of those VR headsets and and try to get one as close as possible. But
yeah. So one of the things just with the with the Mantis that I also like is that I can actually use my EDC or my everyday carry.
Yes.
And put my little laser cartridge in there. So I'm practicing actually using a gun that I would possibly use out in the public if a threat ever presented themselves to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's awesome, and I think everybody should try to invest in something to make it close to.
So I'm not against those.
Yeah,
I'm not against those things whatsoever. Like I said, I own them. I have the Mantis. It was this thing called it was like a True Shot. I don't think they went out of business. You actually can mount your phone on the front of your gun, and you can actually move with the gun, and it hears the trigger pull as a shot. So I had that with the dry fire mag. You heard of that, right?
Yep.
So I had that, so that way every time you pull the trigger, you hear it. So if you still literally a thing you plug onto the front of your gun, and then your phone is your little screen, and you can actually use your target, your sights in your red dot, and you can shoot at the target, and it'll give you the audible feedback, your ping, and all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yep.
But what I was simply saying, you don't have to if that's one of those things you don't necessarily feel like you have the money to do so. That's all the stuff is just extra.
Exactly.
Doing it for free, just practicing the fundamentals for free. You don't have to do what we do at all. I would encourage you to, especially if you're looking to become a better shot, like what you're saying, and it's something that you're really passionate. Definitely, by all means, heck yeah. But if you don't really have the means to do it, you kind of on a budget, free dry fire is perfectly fine.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Dry firing gets it done. I mean, that's all we had at one point to begin with.
Exactly.
Still technology and ways to try to improve it and all this other stuff that came out there. So you're absolutely right about that. As an instructor, when it comes to just training some just new people with the range, what are some of the difficulties and struggles that you may have seen just when it comes to just new shooters in general?
Simply walking into the range.
Yeah.
Some people are so just jacked up with gunshots going on around them that it's just they're just every gunshot is this, is that. Yeah. So for me as an instructor, I understand it. Me being on the understanding side of me having a lot of patience, because as an instructor, you gotta have patience.
Yeah, absolutely right.
You gotta have patience. You just kind of if you ignore it per se, you don't draw the attention to it. After a while, with all my students, I've had one student that jumped the whole time, but she still made it through. To be honest with you, I guess I had to have the patience of steel, but she made it through and she was good. And I actually felt comfortable with her ever getting into a self-defense situation.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those things as an instructor, you just kind of, you ignore it, you pay attention to it without letting them know that you're paying attention to it. And then when they settle down, they get comfortable, then you bring up to them, hey, psychologically, look, you done got used to the stuff, you're good to go now. Like, you're right. Like, yeah. So it's one of those things. Just kind of let it be, kind of let it settle in. But that's one of the most difficulties of going into a range for a new person. Just that all this stuff going on. Lord of mercy, if somebody got a shotgun or an AR-15 going off in the next round. I mean, the next booth. Yeah, it's gonna be a long.
Some of them guns, even with the hearing protection, you still hear them and you feel it when they're shooting, especially them shorter barrel AR style guns that are out. The shorter the barrel, the louder the daggone gun is going to be.
I know. I'm guilty.
But at the same exact time, They're awesome. I
Hey,
love them. Like me, if I had to choose, I don't know. Well, I don't know if I can actually say that because I kind of love them both, but I love SMGs also.
oh, really?
Yep, I love those kind of guns. Like you mentioned LWRC. Like I love that LWRC 45 that they came out with. The one that's like a clone or the
Hmm.
Universal Machine Gun
Yep.
Pistol clone from
Yep.
HBK.
Yep.
Um I love it. And that was the duty weapon that I had assigned to me was, well, not the LWRC, but the H&K I
Okay.
love that gun. The whole folding stack, folding collapsible stock
Stop.
that folds or whatever. And it just sits like right there, perfect, right here in your chest. You know what I mean? Like bam, you know, have your pistol right there on your side.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, man, I'm good. Have my bulletproof vest just sitting right here. It's like, man, I'm ready. I'm ready. You know what I mean? So I love that. But the reason why I said I can't say that because I love my rifles as well, man, and I
Right,
have
right,
some
right,
bad optics on my rifles, man. That I put some money into it, so
right.
I can't make that that comment. And just when it comes to any type of room clearing, with with a long gun or AR style of firearm,
Hmm.
it's clearing like doorways. Now I'm talking, you know, my cop stuff
Yeah,
right now a
yeah,
little bit,
yeah,
right?
yeah. No, I understand. I'm
So
into it, so you good.
so like clearing the hallways and everything like that, clearing the buildings, it's it's not real practical kind of deal because
Right.
it's big and as long as it sticks out, yeah, they're accurate as I don't know what. But one of the things that I wanted to also, since I brought that up as far as clearing the buildings, um, is the different type of firearms to actually own in a building. Like, say you live in an apartment, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, I don't think everybody knows as far as the power. Of course, we do, and of course, gun enthusiasts would already know this answer to begin with anyway. But for the people who don't know, those 5.56 or 2.23 rounds, you fire that round is going to go through probably all the apartment buildings and out the wall somewhere because of the velocity and the power
Yes,
that those guns
they possess a lot of power.
actually have. So that's some of the things that people need to consider when they want to get the biggest or baddest gun and you're living in a apartment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and the same exact thing with some of the shotguns. You get a one of those double out bucks shots that you're
Hmm.
shooting through it. Yeah, you'll blow the door off the hinges, but you may blow your neighbor's door off the hinges as well. You know, so a pistol in an apartment style situation will probably be ideal.
Ideal, yep.
Um,
Or some hollows.
yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. Would be
Perfect setup. As
yep.
long as you hit your target
You're
and you don't
right.
really have to go worry too much of going beyond your
You're right.
target.
So, what are your thoughts with what I just said? You think I'm far off, or are you kind of in
No,
agreement with
absolutely,
just
absolutely,
that
yeah,
assessment? Yeah.
absolutely. It makes sense.
Hmm.
Again, I'm not sure where you live at, and if you live in like an apartment style setup, like
Yeah.
both my houses are townhouses.
Yeah.
So if I had to use that, first thing I'm going to is going to be a pistol caliber. I'm about to
Hmm.
say, for one, I got kids. I got my wife, my dog, my neighbors. I don't want to shoot anybody else that does not deserve a bullet. Point
Exactly.
blank, period, amen. And on the other end of it, I don't want to be shot
Absolutely right.
for a
Absolutely right.
straight bullet. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna preach it to where it makes sense for all of us. So yeah, and that
Absolutely right.
hollow point 9 millimeter or whatever you want to call it is probably ideal for any type of self defense situation or
Gotta
defense
get
of your
the
home
job
and
done.
all that stuff. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Pay attention, everyone. Just because the gun is big and everything, it may not be practical for the situation that you're actually living in.
Exactly.
Some of the things you need to remember from us instructors talking to y'all out there is that you're responsible for every single round that you fire out of that gun.
Mm-hmm.
So those misses, even when you're shooting that paper and the target, those misses count as, yeah, you shot and you completely missed the paper, or you shot the white of the paper. That shot could have went and hit little Susie or little
Mm-hmm.
Bethany or whatever the situation,
Mm-hmm.
and you're held liable for that.
Yep.
So there's some of the things that you
Absolutely.
need to keep in mind. And like I said, those 5.56 rounds, they'll just keep going, kind of deal.
Yeah, they stop when they're ready to stop.
Yeah, they stop when they're ready to stop. I had one. I was shooting a 5.56, and at the range, and I just wanted to see just what it'll do to a vest. And this is a police vest that I was using. It went through the front and back of two police vests that were
That's
lined up
scary.
with each other.
That's scary, ain't
And I'm like,
it?
goodness gracious, man! Like it will literally take out maybe 2 to 3 people that's lined up with each other.
That's
That's
scary.
scary if you think about it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
granted,
And
it
a
was
lot
a
of
higher grain round that we were using, but still, at the same
still,
exact time, even a lower grain. I mean, it's the gun is pretty powerful. I know it gets a bad rap sometimes just with the whole politics and everything like that, but
and I get it. A lot of politics. I'm not a big politician, or I don't
yeah,
get into politics and all that stuff
hmm
because, to be honest with you, it don't matter. Yeah, it really doesn't. We all in the bottom of the totem pole until we all get together to fight against the rage of the machine and all that stuff. It ain't nothing gonna ever happen.
exactly,
However, a lot of people in politics don't know anything about it. And be honest with you, if it's like more responsible people like you and I were to
hmm
get a hold of those people and actually teach them, or if they were to reach out to find somebody that has some sense about these firearms, the negative light on these firearms would not be there. Be honest with you.
exactly,
If I set a firearm on my table loaded with the safety off, is not going to hurt anyone.
exactly,
Is when you add the human element, that's when it becomes a dangerous weapon. I'm about to say the person who handles it. That's the problem. And
exactly.
you gotta build on that. You can't punish people like you and I for
hmm
the people that just aren't responsible. You can't punish us. I'm about to
Exactly.
say those people can them people get their license. You're not
Exactly.
taking their license away from them.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. And they get a bad rap. It's political. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
it really is. Not sure I don't really go into the whole politics part of it. It's just
Right.
it's blanket
Yeah.
punishment. If they didn't see that it was something that was important, then the Second Amendment would never exist. So we can always
Exactly.
go back to the basics.
Exactly.
It comes with that. I'm not even gonna touch it any further after that. The Second Amendment, right? It would never exist if it wasn't important, you know.
There you
Uh,
go.
so one more question, right? I'm not gonna take too much more of your time or anything like that. I can talk guns forever, man. I love it. Okay,
Me too.
all right. So, and I normally try to ask people this question, just who hop on the podcast as well.
Mhm.
If it's one thing that you think that maybe we can do better as far as and this is of course an opinionated question that getting ready to ask you. If it's one thing that we can do better as far as for the new shooters when it comes to us training them, what do you think if we had a chance to tell them like the single most important thing that they need to learn and be proficient at for a new shooter, what would it be?
Keep your finger off the trigger
To be ready to shoot?
until you're ready to shoot. That's
Absolutely right.
that's the biggest, most important thing right there because you
Yeah.
can flag the hell out somebody, but if you flag the hell out somebody with your finger on that trigger, that makes it 10 times, 20 times, a million times worse. So,
So with me, I would say my opinion would be treat all guns as if they're loaded.
mm-hmm,
Every single one. You approach every single firearm as in this thing is loaded to kill, like it's ready to go.
mm-hmm.
Treat every single gun. Don't ever take it lightly, like, oh, okay, now this gun's clear. Oh, you know what, Kenny, hand me that gun. All right, cool. I already know you're good. Oh, don't worry, I already checked. No, 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 no. I'm gonna check it as well. I'm gonna visually and manually inspect the gun as well to make sure that it is good
Yeah,
to go.
that's muscle
I
memory for
need
me.
I need to know the
Yeah,
working condition of this firearm before I can declare it to be good, even though Kenny said it's good. You know what
right,
I mean?
right.
Even though Kenny's been shooting for the last 50 years or whatever, I still need to check the
Right.
condition of this firearm because
I don't
that's
trust
just
Kenny with my life. That's
yeah.
how it should be. That's how it
but
should be.
but that's something that I feel that everybody we need to, as a whole, we need to really preach, especially just those cardinal safety rules, just when it comes to treating the guns. Because I always tell everybody, all I really care about most importantly is, are you safe in the safe handling of a firearm? We'll worry about the whole accuracy and marksmanship later.
Yep.
Okay. But I need to make sure that you are as safe as possible so you don't hurt yourself or others just when it comes to using a firearm. Because I've seen police officers, these are people who are supposed to be trained to serve and protect and everything. I've seen them put holes in their legs.
Yeah.
Holstering the weapon with their finger on their trigger.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So they're not beyond or incapable of making mistakes.
We all are.
So just like you said, perfect practice instead of practice
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect practice. Keep your finger off that trigger until you're ready to shoot. So if you're holstering, there's no rush. I always tell people, I said, when it comes to you shooting a gun, if you're at a point that you're reholstering your firearm, that means there's no longer a threat.
Yeah.
If you're at that point that you're just like, all right, it's time for you to go ahead and put your gun away. All right, take your time. You don't need to rush to put your gun away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The threat's gone. So, like I said, I might be rambling a little bit, but those are some of the things that I always try to leave off with. But before I let you go, Kenny, I need to see that gun because you already promised the people, and I can't, I can't, we can't end this without you showing us that gun because you already promised it to us at the beginning of the show.
Which one you want to see? My favorite one?
Tactical.
Oh,
I'll be right
back. I'm gonna show you both of them. I'll be right
All right,
back.
bring them both. All right, guys. Yeah, he's going to go get those firearms that he promised us in the beginning. Pretty awesome and pretty high speed firearms at the same exact time. So, and pricey at the same exact time. So, we shall see. Me personally, I've never shot a Canic firearm. I'm hearing everybody get Canics. One of these days, I'm finally going to shoot one, to be honest with you. But I haven't yet. Maybe Kenny will invite me out at some point and I'll be able to go ahead and shoot one of his guns just so I can finally say I shot a Canic. So Terran Tactical is just to probably just share as far as those guns. Those guns, a lot of those were used in the John Wick movie. So you see him doing all those trick shootings and reloads and press checks and everything. Those were a lot of those guns that were used in those John Wick films were Terran Tactical firearms, whether it came to the shotgun, whether it came to the pistol, excuse me, and things like that. So just to shed some light for the people who don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my, we all clear.
Oh, yeah. I see it got a compensator in the front. Oh.
Yeah. So you see why I fell in love with this. And it shoots. It shoots. It shoots.
Yeah, I believe it. I like that. Oh, yeah.
When we hang out, you absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So this took the #1 spot for a good while.
I believe it. I believe it.
It got replaced today.
Okay. Okay. Let me see your replacement. Let me see the replacement.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Booyah.
Woo! Okay. Okay.
Booyah.
I got you. I got you. What kind of optic is that you're running on top?
That's a Hollison.
Hollison. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it was all custom done. So this has the 3-pound Timney trigger.
Mm-hmm.
It has the Radiant afterburner ramjet.
Okay.
From my understanding, the gunsmith that did this, he said he talked to Turn Butler himself. I swear to God, that's what he told me. He said, I talked to Turn Butler himself. He explained to me a couple things to do with the trigger. And I ran this thing today. This thing runs like butter, I tell you. And I didn't look. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. I'm gonna have a video posted later, probably tomorrow. But this thing is dry. I didn't even oil it. And when I say I ran this thing today. I put about 200 rounds through it, and I just picked it up yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
So back to the Glock 45s.
Okay.
It took them. So it's not your regular Glock. It's not your regular Glock.
Oh, it's nice. You see the trigger work though. So
yeah. So I put a little bit of love, little TLC. The design, all me. I designed it myself. So I just had them do it. I designed it myself. The stippling, even the stippling on the trigger guard, and my gas pedals stippled. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As promised, he showed us the guns. All right, he's a man of his word. And you also heard him say that he invited me out, that I can go out there and I can shoot these guns. So believe me, I'm gonna hold him to that, and probably end up shooting a video of us shooting together to verify that
absolutely
that I shot these guns. So Kenny, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming out, man. Energy,
thank you for having me on.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We need to do this again. We need to get together, shoot some.
We definitely need a part 2.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely can. We can do a part 2 after we shoot so we can talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Bring some of my toys, and hey, you bring your toys and we can do the thing.
All right, before you leave.
Yep.
What's your favorite rifle?
My favorite rifle?
So particularly your rifle caliber.
Oh, no, it's a 5.56. So I was able to get a So LWRC, I used to work at a 3-letter agency, and LWRC came down to the agency, and they were offering to sell us guns and everything, right? But they put together a gun package that only special agents were actually able to purchase these guns. So this gun that I have is off the market. You can't buy this gun. It's a law enforcement gun. Right? The gun is roughly like almost $5,000 for this gun.
Okay.
It's an LWRC, and I have probably like a $1,700 optic on it, Trigicon, with the zoom in it as well. With the magnifier on it as well.
Okay.
MRO optic on there, that with the HD MRO optic, and I had the option for the dot or the crosshairs. Yeah, I put a Law Tactical folding stock added to it. Like I put some work,
some stuff into it.
This gun.
Well, you got to bring it with you.
I'll bring it. But the gun is ridiculously accurate, man. Like I love my rifle, man. So yeah, I'll definitely bring that. But we'll talk about that a little bit offline. But
yes, sir.
Like I said, guys, thank you for your time, Kenny. Thank you. I appreciate you coming down as well. I know I already said it before, but saying it again. Until next time, talk to y'all soon.
Peace.